now we have Jonah. Jonah's a fantastic speaker. He really surprised us at our last meeting. He looks quiet, but he's fired up. He's ready to go. With Jonah Cooley, everybody.
I also talk with my hands, so I'm going to keep the mic a little forward. Good afternoon. So I have spent the past month out of Abbeville. I've been at Clemson University getting my degree in political science because I was sort of motivated by my dad's career in civil service and the chaos of our current political climate to want to serve my community in either as a government lawyer or serving in local politics. I am where I am because of a small rural community, so I thought, what better to do with my life than to serve small rural communities? And I'm not alone in this fight. I am joined by Brian Best, wherever he went. All right. Who has decided to nobly serve this small community in the United States House of Representatives. And I am joined in this fight by our president, who was raised in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and Claremont, Delaware, and decided to dedicate his career to fighting for working people. And who this summer willingly sacrificed the nomination of the oldest political party that is still active in history in order to serve his country. In his speech at the Democratic National Convention, President Biden referenced one of my favorite songs called American Anthem, which has the first verse of, "All we've been given by those who came before, the dream of a nation where freedom would endure. The work and prayers of centuries have brought us to this day. What will be our legacy? What will our children say? Let them say of me, I was one who believed in sharing the blessings that I received. Let me know in my heart when my days are through, America, America, I gave my best to you." For all of our divisions and endless partisan bickering, we are fundamentally one nation, and we are fundamentally one people. We have the same hopes, desires, and fears. We all believe in opportunity, in possibility, in justice, in freedom. We all hope for a better future for our children. We all hope for a day when we can truly hold the idea to be self-evident that all men are not only created equal, but they are all treated as equal. We all desire a more prosperous economy and a stronger middle class. We are all fearful that our rights, our lives, and our way of life could be threatened. And still, we are all devoted to the country that we love and to our fellow Americans. I don't think you need me to tell you that your problems don't exactly keep Donald Trump away tonight. Donald Trump's devotion is not to you and to your community. His devotion is to himself and his billionaire friends, who he just wants to give another massive tax break to. That's one of only two promises, as Pete Buttigieg will often point out on the news, only two promises that Donald Trump made in his presidential campaign, major promises, did he keep. He gave a tax cut to the rich, and he appointed Supreme Court justices to overturn Roe v. Wade. Those are the only two that he actually followed through on. Everything else was just noise. And overall, there are little subtleties about everyday life for working Americans that Donald Trump doesn't understand. He's never had to put water in a shampoo bottle so it lasts a little longer, or use a coolant container for leftovers. He doesn't know what it's like to have to wait to possibly buy life-saving medicine just until his next paycheck comes in. He was born in a literal ivory tower, and he has a gold toilet. He does know what it's like to call the Georgia Secretary of State and ask him to find 11,000 votes. That one's still the one that baffles me the most. It almost feels like a cartoon of a corrupt politician. Find 11,000 votes. He does know what it's like to dismiss other people's suffering. After the school shooting in Iowa a couple months back, Donald Trump said, quote, "We have to be able to get over it. We have to move on. Or we can elect Kamala Harris as our president and we can do something about it."
Right.
After the school shooting last week in Georgia, his running mate J.D. Vance called this a fact of life. And I'm going to be honest with you.
He's not entirely wrong. It is somewhat a fact of life now. Ask anyone of my age group, of my generation, and we'll be able to tell you about the subtle fear that we all live in. The fact that every time we go to the movie theater, we instantly check where are the exits just in case I have to run. Having to have the school shooter drills. Like we're living in some third world war zone. And these are facts of life right now, but they don't have to be. We can do something about it. We shouldn't have to worry like we're living in a war zone. But a quick word about J.D. Vance while I brought him up. There's a phrase that we have in the South for people like J.D. Vance. Ablame, right? he always acts like even his body's kind of sick of him. And I guess that's just what it's like to sell your soul to Satan. But, you know, he pretends that he's a man of the people because he was raised in Appalachia. But I'm sure you and I all know plenty of people who went to Yale or worked for a hedge fund their entire career. Like Kendrick Lamar said, they're not like us. Of course, Vance isn't the star of the show. Donald Trump, after going bankrupt several times, cheating on 3 wives, losing the popular vote twice, getting impeached twice, and losing the presidency, wants us to trust him with our lives. And now we have seen firsthand the difference between our 2 candidates. This past Tuesday we had an interesting debate where the Republican nominee for president spent the entire time talking about transgender Haitian immigrants coming into the country to eat your dog. I felt like I was watching Ben Tillman on the screen or something. It was completely ridiculous. And the other one was actually talking about your family and your issues and your priorities. The other candidate knows what a tariff is and how it works. Because China's not going to be paying for those tariffs. We are going to be paying for those tariffs. Costs will go up. And this isn't new. This isn't a new problem. It's not like he all of a sudden decided that he wanted to go off the rails. We've been watching this dog eat grass for 8 years now. And we have all seen who the nominees are now. One of them has spent the entire campaign, the entire 8 years that he's been in the public eye in politics, complaining about immigrants, stolen elections, and just hurtling this useless barrage of insults that would be immature if they were coming from an 8-year-old, much less a president of the United States. And just generally acting a little strange, frankly. And the other one has laid out her new path forward. An economy and society that would be built for all of America. And I'll put it to you this way. When bad things go down, who would you trust in your corner? Do you really trust Donald Trump, who spends his entire time just talking about personal grievances, about rally sizes, about stolen elections? He threw his own vice president under the bus just for refusing to overturn an election. Because it hurt him, because he wanted power, because he wanted authority, because he wants to be the best guy in the room. Or do you trust Kamala Harris, a corporate prosecutor, former district attorney, who spent her entire career fighting for communities just like ours? Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are going to try hard to push their Project 2025 agenda on the American people. Abolishing the Department of Education, repealing the Affordable Care Act, making all civil servants at-will political appointees, and just generally taking the country back. They want to take us back to a time when insurance companies could deny diabetics, asthmatics, cancer survivors, and more due to pre-existing conditions. Back to a time when Medicare couldn't negotiate drug prices. Back to a time when couples with fertility issues couldn't use the miracle of IVF. Back to a time before certain voter rights. Back to a time where workers couldn't negotiate fair wages and workplace conditions. Back to a time when the President of the United States tried to overturn the will of America and ran our government like a reality show. Their 2025 agenda is to take America back. Kamala Harris's 2025 agenda is quite simple. We are not going back. Our 2024 agenda needs to be just as simple. We are going to vote for the prosecutor over the felon. We are going to elect Kamala Harris to be president of the United States. This election is too important to stay at home, folks. It's time to register right now. You need to go to scvotes.gov, check your voter registration, and have a plan in place for November 5th. The couch is not an option in the selection cycle. And I won't say any more about the couch in case J.D. Vance is listening. We have to be willing to do the hard work. But this is South Carolina. I know you're not afraid of a little hard work. This isn't Donald Trump's election. It's not Kamala Harris's election either. It's our election. It's America's election. It's an election of who we are as a country. We're at a rare stop in history where we can define what the next century of our country will look like. Each of us has the ability to write future history books. All we have to do is fight for the future because we are in a fight for our communities, our families, our country, and our rights. We have a chance to elect a president who knows about a community like this one, who grew up in the working class, the daughter of immigrants, who worked at McDonald's, a president who's always fought for the people first. We have a chance to heal the divisions of our country. We have a chance for a president who will fight for the rights of workers, consumers, and voters. A president who knows, by the way, how to cook collard greens too. We have a chance for a president who somehow managed to get the endorsement of both Al Gore and Dick Cheney. Above all, this is a weird election, folks. Above all, we have a chance to elect a president for all of America. And all we have to do is vote for it. There's another great verse from the song American Anthem. For those who think they have nothing to share, who fear in their hearts that there is no hero there, know each quiet act of dignity is that which fortifies the soul of a nation, that will never die. Let them say of me, I was one who believed in sharing the blessings that I received. Let me know in my heart when my days are through, America, America, I gave my best to you. So Abbeville, are we ready to give our best?
Hey!
Are we fired up?
Hey!
Are we ready to go?
Hey!
Do we believe in opportunity?
Yes!
Do we believe in possibility?
Yes!
Do we believe in freedom?
Yes!
Do we believe in America?
Yes!
Are we ready to vote for it?
Yes!
Vote for your country. Vote for your community. Vote for your families. Vote for your lives.
Yes.
Let's send Brian Best to Congress. Let's send Kamala Harris to the White House. Let's again declare that we, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, promote the general welfare, provide for the common defense, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and all Americans for generations to come. We establish a new era for all of America because we have come too far to go back now. Thank you.